Hello all, and this is just a kind of little, I don't know if mini-series is the right word, but a little sequence of videos that are going to be kind of unboxing a lot of the NECA Ninja Turtle stuff from the 90s movies. I got a lot of it. I was kind of waiting to unbox a lot of it until I had most of it. I think I pretty much got everything I wanted out of this collection except for the April O'Neil that's supposed to be coming out soon. Not soon, but eventually, I should say. So I'm going to try to go in the order at which I kind of received these. So this first video is mostly going to be these two right here. The very first one I picked up was actually Splinter. I picked them up early this year. My GameStop actually still had this one. So as soon as I saw it, I just kind of picked it up. And that was kind of what started me wanting to get this whole collection, basically, was I saw him. I had liked the figures anyways, but I was really hesitant on whether I was going to start this collection because it's a lot. And seeing him just kind of was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I got him, and then a friend of mine was able to find a Shredder at a different GameStop. So these were kind of and he picked it up and sent it to me, and so these are kind of the first ones I got. So we'll just kind of go ahead and start with Splinter. And the packaging, of course, pretty cool. You got the kind of thing from the poster. Got Splinter right there on the side. Yep, pretty simple. So with Splinter, we have some nunchucks. We have the little tri-cell canister. We have a piece of pizza. And we have Splinter himself, which I'm going to have to cut plastic on. Well, I thought I was. Alright, I apologize. That was way harder than it looked. Oh, there we go. This tail slid out the back. Alright. So, we got Splinter. That was way harder to get out of the box than it should have been. I don't know why that plastic was not cutting. So we have Splinter. I like this because he's got the posable tail. That's something that, obviously the old one, I know, granted, this is a NECA. This isn't like an old Playmates figure or anything like that. But yeah, this is just, it's so detailed. It's got the beard. We've got the posable tail. I'm trying to kind of get that to go up a little more, so we can kind of get him standing a little bit better. If you lean him a little bit too back, though, the tail actually kind of works as a balance, which works pretty well, too. So there we have Splinter. We got pretty solid detail on the robe. It's kind of got that raggedy kind of look like he has in the movie. The sculpt on it is really good. They did a very good job of just kind of making it seem like he has a lot of hair, even though it's just one sculpt. Just the paint app and the detail really makes it pop. So I like that. A lot of articulation, even though he's got really small kind of appendages, you know, like real skinny legs, skinny feet, skinny arms, everything like that. He still just looks really good. And there's a lot of really good posable. There's nothing really tight here. I'm trying not to move him too much because I want him to kind of be able to stand a little better. But I mean, beyond that, it's just a really good looking figure. And my one thing is I do wish the tail wasn't kind of so what's the right word here? Inhibited by kind of like his robe, but it works for what it is. If you just kind of get him in the right way, he looks pretty good, and the tail actually does a pretty good job of balancing him out, so he kind of stands better. So in that regard, it works. I guess the tail, you're just gonna have to kind of mess with it a little bit more, kind of get the kind of get it bent to a position you really like it. In terms of articulation, there's a little bit of restricting on the articulation because of how tight the robe is on him. But that's okay. I don't think you really need Splinter to do a whole lot. Of course, he's got the hands. We've got the feet. The tail actually does turn. So if you want to move it, you can. And then, of course, the tail is posable. I've kind of only got it this far. It doesn't really want to stay any farther up. But that's okay. It's not really anything that's changing. But like I said, you get the little nunchucks. You get a piece of pizza. Not sure where the nunchucks... I guess you could hold them, but it doesn't really have a holding hand. So that's it. And then, of course, we got the little ooze canister. So that's pretty cool. But yeah. And then I guess we can go ahead and move on to the next guy. Next one, we are going to go ahead and take a look at Shredder. Same thing. Trying to get that glare off. My friend saw this one at his GameStop. Asked me if I was going to go ahead and start the collection. Told him sure. And I went ahead and I picked up that Splinter. He sent me this one, and that's how it kind of all started. Same thing, packaging, pretty simple. If I'm not mistaken, I think Splinter and Shredder are supposed to come in a 2-pack later on. I could be wrong about that, but somewhere I remember seeing that one of the 2-packs planned was this Shredder and this Splinter. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but it's a 2-pack I won't be getting since I have these already. Same thing with the foot soldiers. I have the 2 separate foot soldiers already that were GameStop exclusive. So even though I saw multiple ones at my Walmart, I never picked them up. The weapons rack was cool, but I couldn't justify the cost just to get that weapons rack. So what do we got here? There's our Shredder, and then we kind of got his cape in a separate bag over here. And I like these types of capes. It's actually a posable cape. I have a feeling this is going to remind me of something I showed off in one of my other videos, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's kind of just pop out what this guy's got. So we kind of got his staff. Let's see, we got his little knife holster, knife sheath. We have the actual dagger. He has... That's actually taped. 4 different hands. It looks like he has 2 for each. So he's got 2 left and 2 right. Counting the ones he has, that's 6 pairs of hands coming with this guy. So we got kind of like a bit of an open-fisted Shredder hand with the blades. On the other side, we've got an open-handed bladed hand. We've got a regular open hand. And then kind of an open-fisted hand to hold something. And then once we get him out, we can kind of take a look at what he's actually comes with. Already. Okay. And this one's being just as bad as the Splinter one. And one more. Okay, actually not as bad as the Splinter one. That Splinter one did not want to break. I don't know why. I don't have scissors with me. I should have prepared a little better for this. But that one would not break. This one broke pretty easily. So I guess that's a good thing. Let's see if we can kind of get them out. Ooh, come on. There we go. All right. So this is our Shredder. Ooh. He's got a weird feel to him. Not like those old NECA. I know some NECAs, when you leave them in the box for a while, they tend to have that weird sticky feel. A lot of action figures naturally kind of have that. It's not that. I think it's just like the sparkles and everything kind of give them this real rugged feeling to it. That is interesting. Okay. Yeah, anyways, sorry, that kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting it. Oh, his foot joint is tight. That's going to take a little bit to move. So here we have our Shredder. He's a little hard to stand. There we go. Okay. Oh, good enough. There's our Shredder. He's kind of got that glittery red look to him. That's kind of like a maroon, I guess you could say. He comes with the one hand already bladed. And then we got the closed fist hand over here. And then, of course, interchangeable hands. And then the interchangeables over here for the bladed hand. Simple enough. Blades on the shoulders, blades on the gauntlets, blades on the kick pads. Then, of course, we got the helmet. No, I don't think I'm pretty sure the helmet's not removable. I know the mask is. And I kind of don't want to take it off just in case it's like a real pain to get back on. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to keep this in focus. But the mask does come off. I'm just not going to take it off for this. The other thing about this one, he's got a cloth belt right here we're kind of looking at. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, he's got a real kind of rugged feel to him, and I think that's because of the glitter specking and just the way the mold kind of is. He does. This neck piece is a separate piece right here. I don't know if you guys can see. It does kind of come up a little bit, but just pull it back down and there you go. No problem. So we have that. He does have a little bit of an interesting problem standing. I'm trying to get the legs straightened out here, but this joint on his left foot is stiff as hell. There we go. Okay, now it's kind of moving. That was kind of hard to kind of get. Besides that, a lot like everything else, he's a little bit more stiff. And that's kind of a common thing with a lot of NECAs. They're just kind of stiff, and you got to work them out a lot to kind of get them how you want. And he's no different. The legs actually aren't. That's kind of cool. The legs actually are pretty solid, as well as the knees. Those are pretty loose and pretty good. But his ankle joints and his arm, his shoulder joints up here are definitely tight. Those are going to have to be worked out. The head is pretty good. There's no real stiffness there. It's just the shoulders and the ankles down here are really, really stiff. So those are going to have to get worked out somehow. But yeah, that's Shredder. I mean, he looks great. He looks just like the movie. Like I said, it's got that little bit of a cloth thing going on here. This part of the belt, like his kind of sash here, is tied in a bow. That's a hard plastic, but the wrapping around on top is a cloth. So that's kind of a unique way of looking at it. That's kind of why you can tell they're a little bit different colors. Because one's like a molded piece of plastic that's a little bit lighter. The other one's like a much darker black cloth. So there's that. But I mean, he looks great. The face on him is pretty spot on. So yeah, that is kind of it. Again, we have that holding hand. If you probably have to fit that kind of deep in there and stretch that out to get it to hold. But he holds the dagger pretty good, so that's good. And then, of course, we have the actual sheath. Now, does this connect on? That's kind of something I've been wondering about. Does this actually connect on somewhere? Or is it supposed to? I don't think it does. I think it just kind of, she's in there and then you're supposed to kind of pull it out whenever you want it. Oh, all right. No, that's fine. Interesting. I think he looks great. I think it's kind of, I mean, looks-wise, NECA usually is going to knock it out of the park. The thing is that the joints on this one are way stiffer than they were on Splinter. And then just kind of the shoulders and the ankles. Those are my kind of two biggest complaints on this Shredder. Over time, that'll the more he's posed, the more you kind of mess around with him. I'm sure that's not going to be as big of a problem. He does have a better, he stands better on its own than the Splinter did. With the Splinter, I kind of had to balance him out with the tail on the back, and then kind of position him how I wanted. With the Splinter, with the Shredder, you're kind of getting a better stance. As I say, Splinter decides to just take a dive. But yeah, both of these are actually really nice looking. Like I said, I think these are going to be a 2-pack at some point, if not already. Because I honestly kind of lost track of how NECA was releasing the 2-packs for all of the Ninja Turtles. But I'm almost positive these are supposed to be a 2-pack. But that is it for this one. They both look great. The accessories are good. Oh, well, actually, before I go, I can do one last thing. I forgot Shredder's cape. I'm glad I noticed it. Ball's finish. 1, 2, kick at it, 2.5. So we got the cape. This is, ooh, this is fancy. So we've got the cape, kind of spreads out. Definitely, it's kind of like a mix. It's not really a lot of cloth, but kind of like a mix of a mesh and like plastic. Like, I think that's what it is. Kind of a mix of a mesh and a plastic. It actually has, I don't know if you guys can tell, a clip, a metal clip that clips on. And that's how it's supposed to hold right here. Like that. So that's kind of cool that it's not just Velcro. I can actually appreciate that. That's a little detail that's pretty cool. And I think that's why that piece in the neck is so movable. That way you can kind of place it under if you want. I'm not really going to do that. I'll probably just kind of place them on there like this. Call it good. Not really. That actually seems like it would actually kind of be really hard to get completely around his neck without really going underneath it. Which I know you're supposed to do anyways, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll just kind of pose it on him. But yeah, like, I mean, the cape looks really good for what it is. And like I said, it's got that little clip. So if you eventually, when you do get it underneath the helmet and underneath his neck, it will actually clip on as opposed to just being like a piece of Velcro. So that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking little piece. You could customize the hell out of a Randy Savage with this if you wanted to. Like, give Randy Savage some silvery cape thing. It looks like something he would have wore anyways. But yeah, that's what we got for this first kind of unboxing set. And so yeah, thank you. And the next one will probably be the 2 foot soldiers. So that'll probably be the next one that comes up. All right, later.